Ukrainian forces broke through the first line of defense in the town of Lobkova. If you don't know where the town of Lobkova is, it is actually on the west side, close to the river, the Dnieper River. So Ukraine has stormed this town and taken it in their control, and they are heading into these other settlements and fighting for position. As the fighting continues, the lines can change and can be very dynamic back and forth. So it is an ongoing counteroffensive. So there will be losses and ongoing fighting on both sides. Okay, so here's a video of the Ukrainians attacking the settlement. You can see that they have stormed it, and then these troops are actually going in to clear the village or clear the different areas. Okay, so you can hear distant gunfire and artillery fire, so it's a continuing assault on the city. So fighting is very intense in the city. So Ukraine was able to gain a foothold on June 7th, and I think they are still holding the city and advancing into other settlements. So there is some success in Ukraine's assault in some areas. So there's some success in Ukraine's assault in some areas, and some they have not been able to gain a foothold. So from this map, you can see that Ukraine is beginning to gain a foothold in some of these areas. And then I think as they gain a Lavkova, they're spreading into these other settlements here in the south, and also in this area where the Rotev. So as Ukraine is progressing to advance in Roboten, so they've been heavily bombarding the city. So there's a lot of artillery that has been going in. So there definitely some Russian losses in those areas. So Ukraine has, if you saw some of the video, Ukraine has suffered some losses of themselves, of Leopards and Bradleys that are in the fields here. But they're slowly making some progress in their advancement in these areas. Okay, so here's another map of the breakthrough in that area. So Ukraine has gained, I think this is at least a 5 kilometer breach in the first lines of defense in the Orikov area. And then this breach is about 16 kilometers long, I believe. So fighting is very stiff. So positions can still change. Basically, we are running off of data that we have currently so far. So Russians can actually push back if they have reserves and reinforcements. So it can be back and forth. So we won't know the clear results until we see more pictures of from the Ukrainian side. Most of what has been published by the Russian side. So Ukraine has been on a media blockout for the time being, or media silence. Okay, so what is the general strategy of Ukraine? So Ukraine is probably planning something like this. You can see they may be pushing from this direction in the middle down to this town Tomak, and then from the side they're pushing to these other towns to secure the flanks. Okay, so the main push is actually this town in the middle. So because there's a railroad that runs through this town to supply the eastern part of Ukraine, so therefore Ukraine needs to take the city, and then basically they also attacking from this Lovkova into these side areas to secure the flank, so they won't get flanked from the sides. And the same thing here. So they're securing all the flanks from these multiple directions of attack, so that they would prevent any flanking of the main thrust to gain the city. So we don't know if the main thrust will be coming to this way, but majority of these attacks are still kind of probing attacks. It's not the full scale attack yet. So this is kind of the general regional strategy in this Zaporizhia region. So this is a guess of what Ukraine might do in terms of attacking and gaining ground. So they have broken here to some degree, and then also broken here in this corner. So just as in this map, you can see they are broken to a degree and fighting for this area in the yellow, fighting for this area in the yellow, and keep pushing. Okay, the overall push of Ukraine might be something like this. You can see that they may push down to Melitopol and then come down into Crimea from this way. And then I believe that Ukraine might have been planning an attack from the Kherson region, but because of that flood, they were prevented from doing so. And then also you can see that this area, because the river has been going decreasing because of the dam has been destroyed. Russia might need to reinforce these flanks in these areas to prevent Ukrainians from crossing over the river. So in destroying the dam, it didn't do them any good because now Ukraine can cross over from the other side of the river to attack. And then in these areas, there's no defense. There's no lines of defense. So Russia, if once it dries up a little bit more, Ukraine can actually forge and cross the river. So basically, this is the general direction of the attack. So you can secure your flanks and you come through the middle with a thrust into a Melitopol pole, and then some thrust into a sorry, it's hard to say his name, Berjansky. Okay, so basically, this is the general thrust of a possible strategy that Ukraine might employ in the overall goal to get to Crimea. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy this update of Ukraine breaking through the front lines in some areas. I think in some other areas they have also failed. So there's going to be some mixed success in certain areas and mixed gains in other areas. All right, so Ukraine is shelling these outskirts of these other settlements. So hope that you enjoy this update. So if you have, please give me a like and a subscribe and follow me for more updates on the Ukrainian counteroffensive.